What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're talking Matrix Resurrections. It's coming out on December 22nd. That is only not even a month away. It is coming up here in about 3 weeks, and I'll be reviewing every single Matrix movie leading up to it. All three. The original, the second one, the third one, and then we'll have Matrix 4 called Matrix Resurrections. But before we do that, let's check out the latest trailer. And I'm going to have some reactions. We'll talk about some theories and some interesting points that we see in the trailer. So let's get going. Matrix Resurrections trailer. Here it is.
We can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious.
But this is the moment for you to show us what is real. I remember this.
So deja vu. And yet it's obviously all wrong. Maybe this isn't the story we think it is.
They taught you good. Made you believe their world was all you deserved. But some part of you knew that was a lie. Some part of you remembered what was real.
It's so easy to forget how much noise the Matrix pumps into your head. Something else makes the same kind of noise. War. What happens to Neo? The most important choice in Neo's life. It's not his to make.
She believed in me. It's my turn to believe in her.
Part of me feels like I have been waiting my whole life for you.
If you want to see Trinity again, fight for her!
I saw this in a dream. My dream ended here.
I still know Kung Fu.
Okay. That is pretty badass. Little fan service moment right there at the end with the I still know Kung Fu. But overall, I mean, let's be honest, that was pretty freaking sick. So to be honest, I haven't been watching a ton of the trailers and teasers, but I wanted to check out this big one here and make a video about it because I really don't know. I've heard that this is a reboot, not really a sequel. I mean, that's clearly a sequel. There are even lots of scenes from the original film, so it has to be a sequel. All the actors are back pretty much, although there is some recasting we saw there with some younger versions, but overall, it's clearly a sequel. This ain't no freaking reboot at all. That's not what a reboot looks like. That's a sequel. Don't try to trick it. At least they're not calling it The Matrix. Okay, Candyman and Halloween, and at least they're not just calling it Matrix. They're calling it Matrix Resurrections. So, I'm super pumped after that. I really thought that was pretty cool. So somehow, obviously, both Neo and Trinity are back, even though they died. We're going to see how they work that. I mean, The Matrix, obviously, it's science fiction. Crazy things can happen. So we'll see how they work that. They don't seem to know each other, but they kind of feel a connection. Okay, interesting. We've seen something like that in other movies, but I really like the look of this. I mean, everything looks on point. It looks like the Matrix. You have, the world within the Matrix, the world outside it, which everything is, completely post-apocalyptic. And yeah, it just seems like it could be really awesome. It could be really badass, but it really depends on the writing. It really depends on how the execution, right? I've been pumped about trailers before. I thought Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer, I was just convinced that movie was going to be amazing, and it was just a massive disappointment, to say the least. I am wondering why they had to recast certain actors. I mean, clearly it's to make them younger, but why? Are we going back in time? It doesn't look like it. Clearly, Neo and Trinity are not younger. So what's going on? Morpheus is recast. He sounds great. He's got the way that Morpheus speaks down. So I don't think it's going to be a big issue. I would love to see Lawrence Fishburne back, but obviously that's not happening. So there is some recasting. Obviously, Mr. Anderson. Agent Smith, I mean. Agent Smith looks to be recast as well, at least the younger version of himself. So that's really interesting. And I don't know how they're going to work that. It's going to be, it looked like he did a good job too, I'm sure. I mean, obviously, they're not going to cast anyone who can't do the part, play the role. Well, I shouldn't say that because movies have done that in the past. But having said that, this is really interesting, all these storylines and how they're going to work it. Also, I'm hearing that this is going to be a sequel just to the first movie, which we see in Hollywood a lot. But that leaves me with lots of questions. Because even though parts 2 and 3 weren't well received, I enjoyed them, and I thought that there was so much world building there that just to ignore those 2 movies, that's going to be kind of tough to do. Not to mention there are certain actors coming back, like Jada Pinkett Smith, who was only in the sequels. She wasn't in the original, but she's coming back to reprise her role. So clearly they're not ignoring the sequels completely, right? So what we're actually going to watch is kind of like in question. Like, what exactly is this? I've heard reboot. I've heard sequel to the first. But then again, like I just said, there's actors coming back that were in the second and third. But overall, you know what? I don't even know. I'm just going to assume right now that this is just a fourth Matrix movie, because clearly it's a sequel. It's not a complete reboot where you're just ignoring them and completely rebooting the franchise. It's just not. It's just not. This is clearly a sequel. And if it's just a sequel to the first, okay, I'm going to assume that it's a sequel to all 3, but they're just going to kind of ignore mostly the second and third ones, which is fine. Overall, though, I thought that this trailer looked pretty badass, just as far as, and by the way, I'm so glad that Keanu Reeves stayed in shape and he looks awesome. We don't want to see 300-pound Neo, okay? We want to see him just like he was, and he looks fantastic, and so does Trinity. They both look great, and all these years later, it's been a long time. So I'm so glad not only they're still with us and healthy, but they look fabulous, which is fantastic. And pretty much the entire cast looked great, other than the recast, which are new cast members. They look great too, but obviously they weren't in the old movies. But I'm interested to see this one. You got some people that were recast and they didn't have to be. Apparently they weren't even asked to come back, so there's some kind of concept here. But overall, I thought the trailer was awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think. Getting pumped up for Matrix. I'm going to be reviewing Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions. Going to be reviewing both, and along with, of course, the original. They will be more extended spoiler reviews, really big reviews, because these movies are, I'm a huge fan. Watched them countless times. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll continue to keep you updated on any news I get, any leaks. I'm not going to give away anything major, but any minor leaks like casting and all that, if there's anything else new, which I don't think there will be. I think we pretty much know what we're getting into, at least what they want to tell us. Funny I say that, because actually we have no clue what we're getting into, because I still don't really get what this movie is supposed to be. But I'm going to just consider it a Matrix 4. A Matrix 4 that's mostly going to focus on the events of the first one. That's what I'm going in as. We'll see if it does anything to just say, if it does anything to completely illegitimize the other 2, we'll see how I take that, whether I like that or not. I kind of don't, but we'll see how it's done in the movie. You guys have a great day. Let me know what you think. If you're excited for Matrix Resurrections, we'll talk to y'all very soon. Please subscribe today. Help me get to that 1,000 subscribers. That would mean a lot right here. See ya.